The Leap Foundation proudly presents the Meet the Mentor podcast with Dr. Bill Dorfman. Dr. Bill is a TV host, New York Times best-selling author, two-time Guinness World Book record holder, fitness guru, celebrity cosmetic dentist, and philanthropist who founded the Leap Foundation. Here's Dr. Bill.
Hey, so I have such exciting news for you all. We're going to wait on that. But let's talk about Leap. It looks like Leap is going to be like it used to be prior to the pandemic. UCLA has not put any restrictions on us, except right now you have to be vaccinated, but that might not even hold. We'll see. But we're hoping to have 450 students and their bright, shiny faces in our audience, and then thousands and thousands and thousands of you guys virtually. You know, in 2020, we had to switch our program from a live program to a virtual program, which we've been doing for the last few years. It has been so popular, we're not going to eliminate it. You'll still get it live, but we're also going to have the virtual. So it'll be amazing. This year, we've got Richard Branson on board. We've got Paula Abdul on board. We've got Usher on board. I just heard we got an astronaut on board. It should be pretty amazing. In the past, we've had Paula Abdul. She comes every year. Mark Wahlberg, Michael Strahan, Hannah Brown from The Bachelor, Kathy Bates, Jason Alexander, Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins. I just saw him yesterday. Apollo Ono. I mean, we have great speakers. What do you get at Leap? Leap gives students an opportunity to learn the skills they normally don't learn in school. How to network, how to study better, how to sleep better, how to exercise better, how to eat better, how to speak in public, how to network with really kind of high potential individuals that can really help you excel. And the thing that makes Leap so phenomenal are the mentors. So on Friday, we have something called the mentor workshop where you get to come and there'll be 100 different professionals from all walks of life. And you will sit at a table and just ask them questions. And every 30 minutes, we rotate. It's like speed dating. And, you'll meet doctors and lawyers and firefighters and, you name it, screenwriters. And it's amazing. It's literally amazing. So we started this Meet the Mentor podcast because we had so much great material that we didn't want to just keep it at Leap or keep it on our website. This podcast is now in the top 2.5 percentile of all podcasts worldwide. So we have a really far reach and we're ranked in the top 100 in over 100 countries. I think last time was like 150 countries. So it's pretty amazing. We look for awesome speakers. We have one of those today, and I'm going to tell you about Dr. Rob Fazio. He is a leadership psychologist and executive advisor at OnPoint Advising and author of Simple is the New Smart and the Motivational Currency Calculator. We'll have him explain what those books are about. He specializes in global leadership and organizational success. He has over 20 years of experience advising on power, influence, and motivation with elite emerging talent. His advice on navigating turbulent times in politics has been featured in the New York Times and on CNN, Fox News Channel, and MSNBC. Based on his background in sports psychology, he empowers clients to remove internal and external barriers to organizational effectiveness and to function at optimum levels. He lives just outside Philadelphia with his wife and 2 daughters and adopted Great Dane Cannoli. Dr. Rob, thank you for joining us on Meet the Mentor.
Thanks, Dr. Bill. It's great to be here. And it was really cool to hear you talk about Leap and what a gift to be part of.
Well, thank you. So can you explain to our audience what exactly a leadership psychologist is?
Yeah. It's basically whatever you make it, right? So the world of leadership is so vast and big. And one of the great things about getting trained as a psychologist is it gives you a lot of versatility. And the path I chose was working with Fortune 500 companies and healthcare companies, really around helping individuals as well as organizations be their best, especially in their worst of times.
How do you do that?
So there's a few different ways to do that. One of them is a lot of my work is one-on-one executive advising, where I might be working for a year with an executive on helping them become aware of how their behavior impacts their employees, how it impacts their business, and helping them be leaders that are really good at being aware of their power and using it for good. And then organizationally, you might be doing things that help an organization systemically do the right things and have the right things in place so their employees are staying engaged and treated well, all for the purpose of having sustainable profit.
So, I mean, it sounds like, in working with leaders of corporations, you're really trying to help them identify their blind spots and work past that.
It's a part of it. And also another part of it is helping them realize where they should be spending their time more or less. So it could take on a variety of different things. And it's really about tailoring what's critical to that person and the organization.
Do me a favor, and without obviously revealing somebody's name because of HIPAA, but take an example that was a really, really challenging, executive to work with. Kind of lay out, what the initial problem was, and then the resolution and how you solved it.
Yeah, so I'll use actually a surgeon because they're usually the most fun and intriguing to work with. As we know, most surgeons are really brilliant and are used to doing things a certain way and having all the answers and following a clear roadmap. And so I was brought in to work with someone who was getting groomed to be the chair of a surgery department. And this person had a military background and was very, very strong at giving direction. But unfortunately, a lot of times in the moment in the operating room, he came across as too harsh and almost demeaning to his staff and to his team. And what happened was it started to affect patient care. And people were more intimidated or nervous, and they wouldn't give him information. And this is very common where people aren't comfortable giving the truth to a very powerful, strong type of personality. And at first, surgeon was very resistant, and it kind of goes like, Rob, why would I talk to you? And I spent some time with them, did some shadowing, seeing them in the operating room, and was able to point out that when this surgeon actually talked to patients, he was very, very good relationally and strong. But when he started talking to his team, it was a completely different approach. And all I did was teach him how, if he talked to his team the way he would talk to patients, with some care, with some empathy, with some understanding, he'll actually get more out of his team and be more effective as a surgeon.
Nice. And the result?
The result, was, he asked me to keep coming back and still talks to me to this day. So that's a good thing. And he actually got several promotions where at first they weren't sure if he's going to be able to be this surgeon type leader. And it was really a matter of letting his good nature show, because the way he was trained was to don't show vulnerability, always have the answers. And we just kind of shifted his mindset a little bit. And it took a lot of work and trust, but he thinks he's more effective to this day. So that's a victory, I think.
All right. Talk to me about your two books, Simple is the New Smart and Motivational Currency Calculator.
So the motivational currency calculator is actually something that I use with the surgeon and use in the majority of my engagements. That's an assessment to understand what inside of us drives us, and gives you some tools to assess what drives other people. And rather than running around trying to motivate people, you try to create an environment where you invite them to be motivated. So you try to tap into and pull out what's important to people as far as their motivators. The first book, Simple is the New Smart, is just what it sounds like. I took all my work and research over the years and try to simplify the leadership lessons that I learned from my clients. So it really reads as a choose your own adventure. Each chapter is separate. You don't have to read the whole book, and we'll give you help on things like, how do I influence difficult people? How do I use emotional intelligence? And then the second book, Bully Proof, that's coming out on May 21st. And that is really a summary of my work with very, very challenging personalities, alphas, potentially narcissists, and how people can shield themselves from any negativity from someone who might behave in a dysfunctional way, how to own your power, and then if you have power, how to use it in a good way. And there's a little twist where people reading the book are going to make the assumption that everyone else is a bully, but many of us engage in bullying behaviors and aren't aware of it.
Wow, that's so easy. I mean, it's just, I think self-awareness is such a difficult thing for people. One of the things that's been really helpful for me personally, and it's something we teach at LEAP, is joining a mastermind group.
Yeah.
And, because it's like, especially kids out there, they're subject to so much criticism personally, through social media, through all these things. Like, who do you listen to? And, I'm 63 right now, right? I have a really tough skin. When I was in high school, not so. I mean, if I had a zit on my forehead, I didn't even want to go to school. That was like the kiss of death. Now I care less. But I think for so many of us, we're so sensitive to other people's criticisms and stuff. And I think that it's really important to be able to learn how to be comfortable with yourself.
Absolutely. One of the biggest dangers, I think, in our society is strong personalities in high school really deter good people's paths, right? They can push you in a certain direction. So give me an example. I was an okay athlete in high school, not great, but I was so worried about getting made fun of that I didn't engage in sport early on enough until later on in my high school career. And I had a great upbringing and a lot of friends. But if you think about people that are isolated or not, we need to find ways to buffer them from that negativity. And to your point around that awareness of realizing, like, it's okay to feel crummy, but it's not okay to stay feeling crummy. And we all have to build one another up.
Yeah. And, one of the things I tell kids at LEAP all the time, we talk meaner to ourselves than we would ever allow anybody to talk to us. And positive self-talk is really, really important. And that's why, I'm such a strong proponent of, being in a mastermind group of people who are going to support you and lift you and know you. Because, I have 1.3 million followers on Instagram. Once in a while, I get a not so nice, message. And you know what I do? It's super easy, Rob. Delete. I don't even read it. Like, I figure, you know what? You've got problems. You want to dump them on me? I just don't need that in my life. But if somebody close to you in your life that you really respect says, hey, look, this isn't okay. That's the kind of stuff that you really have to engage in and then listen. And, what you do to help, coaches and executives and leaders become self-aware, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And, it's, you hit on something with the mastermind. It's right. I want to be around a group of people that I know are on the same team and also willing to be critical for my benefit, right? To give me some information that others may not give me. And it might sting at first, but getting through that resistance as quickly as possible, knowing that it's for the benefit for me, for my success, is truly a gift that I don't think enough of us get early on.
So how long have you been practicing as a psychologist?
I've been a licensed psychologist, I think, since 2006. And then all through graduate school, at my first, career was in sports psychology, even through graduate school, working with athletes on mental toughness, and all kind of really connected. And, some of my best work where I learned was downtown in New York City, working in the financial community, because they're not afraid to tell you what they don't believe in. So it's got to be you got to be very good at adding value quickly.
So if I were a student interested in going into sports psychology or leadership psychology, what would be beneficial for me to be doing right now while I'm in high school or college?
There's a few things. One is, I think, taking some classes that are related so you can get a sense of if you enjoy that. So, there's a lot more leadership classes out there, classes on psychology or counseling, your classic business classes. But similar to what LEAP does, it's more of the things outside of class that you can learn. So volunteering to do some community outreach, getting a sense of what it's like to go into an organization or a business that you don't know at all, understanding how they work, and seeing if you can be helpful in some way for what they're trying to accomplish. And in a microcosm, that's basically what a leadership psychologist does. So seeing if you enjoy that, and then differentiating what aspect you enjoy. Do you want to be someone that is doing business development, or do you just want to be doing the work? And there's some more nuance depending on the type of leadership consultant you want to be.
Cool.
Quick point. A great resource is the Society of Consulting Psychology, and they do a lot of training future leadership psychologists.
How do they access them?
It's just there's a website called the Society of Consulting Psychology. They do have a midwinter conference, but it's more geared towards professionals later on. But I think that's a great training ground to start understanding the language, reading a little bit about the field, and they've got a very high standard for that line of work.
Awesome. So personally, what's next for you in your career?
I think what's next for me is really, the focus is getting this book out and then trying to do things, I think, on a larger scale. I really enjoy thought leadership, and I really enjoy putting things out there that are based in science that are able to be used. So once this book comes out, I want to be doing more of speaking, but then figuring out ways to build other people up and help them using these bulletproof philosophies when I'm not around. So kind of creating self-coaches, if you will.
And if students want to contact you, what's the best way to reach you?
So LinkedIn, if they have LinkedIn, is a great way to follow Rob Fazio. I try to do a 1-minute video, usually weekly, on some quick learning tips about these types of things. Or if you just go to getonpoint.com, there's a lot of free videos, video blogs, and insights and things like that, all free downloadable stuff that could help them get them on their way.
Awesome. Dr. Rob, thank you so much. That was awesome. And we're out. Over and out.
To learn more about the LEAP Foundation, go to leapfoundation.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LEAP Foundation or on Instagram at LEAP Foundation. Listen to the Meet the Mentor podcast with Dr. Bill Dorfman on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.